Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time. I'm Sebastian Salazar. We got Frank, Don, and Alejandro with us. Plus, we have your questions via Twitter. Guys, last night, ESPN showed virtual Lil Wayne Wheezy watching the Lakers-Thunders game in the crowd. Really want to hear Sebi say Little Wheezy. Little Wheezy. You guys ever notice a celebrity in the crowd during a match, walking to the pitch, sitting on the bench, taking a corner, etc.? Don, any celebrity sightings for you?
Yeah, there's been quite a few. Daniel Craig, James Bond as a Liverpool fan. I think Clive Owen as another Liverpool fan. But back in my day when I was playing in the early 90s, we had a Scouse comedian called Jimmy Tarbuck, who's a massive red. And he used to come down at the dressing room and crack a few jokes and tell a few stories. And the boys absolutely loved him. It's actually, bizarrely, it's actually quite a regular occurrence.
Frank, I'd imagine celebrities were coming up to you looking to get their pictures taken.
That is funny that I'm very fond of actors, and when I was playing and I was looking for people from the movie industry coming to Chelsea, and we had one very famous one, really belonging to the family of Chelsea. It was Sir Attenborough, who played in Jurassic Park. For example, and it was always in the presidential stand, and we always talked together, and it was very it was a big honor for me to talk to him. And I remember one game I played with Hollywood FC where we had lots of stars like Owen Wilson, for example, and some others like Anthony LaPaglia. We played some games, and we played games against LA Galaxy of David Beckham for the Fires in Australia. And I remember one time during the game, I think we lost like 5-2, but I scored 2 goals, and I heard somebody saying, "Give the ball to Frank in that team. That's the only one who can play football, for God's sake." And and I asked who said that. Supposedly, I'm not sure, I can't confirm. It was Robert Downey Jr. So I wish I could have talked to him after that, because I'm a big fan of him, and Iron Man is one of my best comic movies. But yeah, so many people that we met. Remember that at Stamford Bridge, I played against David Beckham, and that day it was the day he met Posh. And on top of it, I think he won that game.
Ale, I want to ask about your celebrities, but can you break down Frank's humble brag first?
No, I mean, we asked Frank about the celebrities that he had seen in the stadium to come and watch his teams play and watch him play. And somehow he turned that around into celebrities asking about him and how good of a player he was, and Robert Downey Jr.
What can I do?
And oh my goodness, hey, are you sure you're not Iron Man yourself, Frank? I think you're Iron Man.
No, we've seen enough of Iron Man thanks to Dan Thomas's Twitter.
I could be. They made the wrong choice in that movie. They made the wrong choice. I should have been Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have been Mr. Bridget, with the
don't
big beard.
Don't forget, Seth and Frank. He also made himself into Cupid, because he said, this is when David Beckham met Posh. It was really because they came and watched me play.
She hesitated. She didn't know who to choose. She chose Beckham. I think she made a mistake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah. Just like
that's my point of view.
Well,
yeah. Just like it was.
Well.
Just like it was a mistake.
You're talking about money, Ali.
Robert
You're talking
Downey
about
Jr.
money.
In Iron Man, I'm sure the box office receipts reflect that. Dan the Orange Man asks, will Hojbjerg's transfer to Tottenham, Pierre-Emile from Southampton, solve Mourinho's midfield woes? Is this a good bit of business for Spurs? Don?
I think it's a good bit of business, but it's not going to make Tottenham into a top 4 side or challenge for the title. It's going to stiffen their midfield up. When you think of people like Sissoko, who is a very good athlete and go box to box and had a very, very good 18 months, and Harry Winks, who's technically very good, but his passing range is quite limited. He's only a sort of 10, 15 yard, 20 yard passer of the ball. So he'll certainly get around the pitch, Hojbjerg. He'll put his foot in, which Jose will absolutely love, and Tottenham fans will like that because he's very combative. But in terms of if it's just one signing, and Tottenham fans are thinking this is a signing that's going to get us into the top 4, nowhere near.
That's it, Frank. Isn't what Don says correct? Spurs still a long way off?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Spurs still a long way off, even if they do land Hojbjerg, yeah?
I don't know. I'm not sure that Mourinho will be the best coach ever. To make sure that Spurs can improve their standards and all competitions that they're going to be involved in. I don't know what I can think about Spurs for the next season, because I think lots of work has to be done. They missed the real spot when they played the Champions League final. Now it's like they have to rebuild almost everything to go back to their fame, and which is quite a shame, because it was not a long time ago that they were successful, and now it's like they already lost everything.
Ale, what do you think about Spurs' future?
I think it's going to be more of the same. I don't think they really take a huge leap forward. I believe that there are a number of teams ahead of them that will remain ahead of them that are not going back towards Spurs. So Manchester United has taken a step forward. Chelsea has taken a step forward, and then of course you think of Liverpool and Manchester City, and so there is no space there for Spurs. And if they're not careful, Arsenal may just take a step forward as well. And so I really think where they are is probably where they belong, and I don't know how much better it can get for Spurs right now.
Frank, Eduardo Camavinga or Riqui Puig? Which next generation midfielder has a brighter future ahead of him?
I think Riqui Puig plays already for a fantastic team Barcelona, and he has a bright future, and we all saw him during the end of the Liga doing great, even if he's not always, rarely in the first 11. We can see that he has everything to be the next maybe Xavi or maybe the next Iniesta, hopefully for him. But Camavinga is a monster. He's very, very strong, already mature. It makes me think of Ruud Gullit. Of course, he has to take a little bit of stamina and power to make sure that he will be like Ruud Gullit. But he has everything to become one of the bigger, stronger midfielder in the world, that's for sure.
Don, Riqui Puig as the next Iniesta or Xavi. What do you think?
I think that's a good shout from Frank. I think he's the type of player that when he plays the game, it looks as though the game's very easy. It comes to him quite naturally. He doesn't have to work too much. He's obviously got to work on his game, because when you're young, you need to develop, and you need to develop your skills and hone them in. But in terms of when you're watching him play, when you're playing in that position, you're always taught to take the ball on the back foot and look for a forward pass. His passing range is quite good. And if he gets anywhere near, those two guys that Frank had mentioned, and Iniesta and Xavi, he'll have a stellar career, because they were two of the very, very best.
Ale, should Barcelona sign Eric Garcia, the 19-year-old center back currently on the books at City?
Yes. Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. Barcelona needs players that can help out that back line. Barcelona needs options in the back line, and a guy who can play out of the back. And Garcia has shown that if you're going to play for Pep Guardiola, you have to have that skill set. He still needs to grow, he still needs to mature, but in terms of taking a chance on a player and be a player that could potentially be very useful to you right away, I think yes, no doubt about it, Eric Garcia should be that player for Barcelona.
Frank, another scouting report question for you. Can you tell us about the former Ligue 1 and current Brentford player, Benrahma? Is he ready for a big move to the Premier League? Of course, we saw him in the promotion playoff. What do you think, Frank?
Well, we saw so many players, French players, coming to Premier League, and some in France we say they have been stolen from the Ligue 1, but it's what we know, and it's what we see every time, and we expect every time we see a player getting better and better, that the Premier League will come up and will steal a player belonging to it. And the Ligue 1 is a good level. It's not a top level, and we can see that Paris Saint-Germain, with all the stars, they're ruining all suspenses every year. But it's a good, let's say, I don't want to be too harsh on it, but it's a very good academy. We have good academies. We bring the players to their maturity, but we serve Europe and the best championship for that. But yeah, every player from the League One mostly did well when he went abroad and served any Premier League club.
Don, what do you think of Benrahma? Is he a Premier League player?
I think he is. I think Thomas Frank at Brentford's done a terrific job bringing him on. I'd not seen him play before he came to Brentford, and he looks as a fantastic player. He was quite anonymous in the playoff final. He didn't have a good game, but you could still see little flashes. You know, when he plays on that left-hand side, and he can go to the byline. But once he chops inside on his right foot, he's got that shot where he whips it towards the top corner. So it will be a shame for Brentford moving into their new stadium that they don't keep hold of him. But when I looked at the majority of them players, he was the one that sort of stood out for me, where I think if someone from the Premier League wants to take a chance on someone from the Championship, Benrahma would be the one.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. That's it for this edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time. Don't miss tomorrow's show. The guys are all over the Champions League doubleheader.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.